Welcome back, everybody. Here's a look at the big storylines of the day. Real Madrid, they were held to a draw as Jude Bellingham was sent off for offending the referee. Atletico Madrid, they also failed to capitalise on Real's stumble as they were also held to a draw against Celta Vigo. Manchester City ran riot against Newcastle as Marmoush earned his first hat-trick. A strikerless Arsenal got a 2-0 win against Leicester City with a Mikel Merino brace. Forest, they lost away at Craven Cottage 2-1. Over in France, PSG, they remain unbeaten in league play as they took down Toulouse. Meanwhile, Lazio continued to stifle Napoli with a 2-2 draw at the Olimpico, and Bayern Munich stayed 8 points clear of Leverkusen with a goalless draw. Well, it has been a full day of action across Europe, so let's hear from our correspondents about some of the biggest storylines, starting with the Bundesliga. And here is Ina Bilobrk with the latest.
Bayer Leverkusen really needed to win today in order to stay in the title race. They threw everything at it. They dominated Bayern Munich for over 90 minutes. And Bayern looked particularly tired, and they have been really tired the last 9-10 matches. And this was the right time for Bayer Leverkusen to snatch these 3 points they needed to stay in the title race. And Bayern, they really looked like they came to the Bayer Arena just to grab this 1 point they needed, and they did with a little bit of luck. Bayer Leverkusen coach Xabi Alonso, he still has never lost against Bayern as Leverkusen coach, but that will feel rather insignificant because it's now likely that they have lost out on the title. And the last few minutes, you could feel the frustration from Bayer Leverkusen, especially in around the 91st minute when Florian Wirtz, he just missed the goal by a few inches, and coach Xabi Alonso just dropped down to his knees, and that really summarizes this game and the feelings for Bayer Leverkusen. Sometimes in football, you just need a little bit of luck, and I feel like the football gods were on Bayern's side today, and if nothing majorly happens in around the next few weeks, it's likely that the Bundesliga trophy is heading back to Munich.
Yeah, it was a great day for Bayern Munich. Aside from the performance, they did what they needed to do in terms of the title race. Moving over to the Premier League, Marmoush, he stole the spotlight from Manchester City. And here is what Geoff Shreeves had to say about it all.
It was another huge day in the Premier League. Manchester City absolutely thrashed Newcastle United 4-0. And of course, the star of the show was Omar Marmoush, who got his first ever hat-trick in his senior career. Newcastle United have only won once in the last 34 games against City, and that luck seriously stayed the same today for them. Big win for Manchester City ahead of that game against Madrid. Elsewhere, Villa struggled against 10-man Ipswich. Only a 1-1. Rashford came on the second half and Ollie Watkins got the equaliser, but it wasn't enough. Fulham, well, in the battle of the Portuguese, Marco Silva got the upper hand on Nuno Espirito Santos, a 2-1 win there for the Cottagers. And Brentford, 3 games on the spin, 3 wins, the first time they've ever done that in the Premier League. A terrific win over West Ham United. And what about Bournemouth? Up into 5th now. This could be a Champions League place. Their unbeaten away record stood firm. 3-1, they beat Southampton. A terrific result. Their season just gets better and better and better. As I said, another great day in the Premier League. Over to Liverpool and Wolves tomorrow, and Tottenham and Manchester United.
A great day in the Premier League. It was also a fantastic day in Serie A. Marco Messina always has the latest on the title race. Atalanta dropped points. Napoli, the league leaders, dropped points. Inter play tomorrow in the Derby d'Italia with Juventus. Where does this leave us?
It leaves us scratching our head because we have a Serie A title that nobody can predict. Atalanta and Napoli, they both slip up. They get a tie today. And the biggest win is for Inter because they could take advantage of this. But they're not going to have an easy time because tomorrow they have to go away to Torino, to Juventus' stadium, which is not an easy place. The last time it was 4-4. It was a thrilling match. But yeah, it's disappointing that Napoli's not been able to take advantage of their chances. They went up against a very difficult Lazio side. Some would say that Napoli were quite lucky to be 2-1 up at one point, but the injuries are really starting to hurt Napoli. And we keep going back to what we said in January. They didn't reinvest that Kvaratskhelia money, and for me, it's starting to show.
OK, we'll see what happens tomorrow in Turin with Inter. But over in France, let's hear from Tom Williams on PSG's day as the reigning champions. They extended their Ligue 1 unbeaten streak.
Tricky assignment, this game in Toulouse for PSG, given that it came halfway through their Champions League playoff tie against Brest. They obviously won the first leg 3-0 last week, but they've still got the second leg to come in a few days' time. So Luis Enrique decided to mix up his team selection. There was no Ousmane Dembele, notably there was no Vitinha. Marquinhos sat it out, as did Gianluigi Donnarumma, and so that meant players like Matvei Safonov, the second choice goalkeeper, Lucas Beraldo, young Brazilian centre-back, Seni Mayulu, young French central midfielder coming into the team, as did Kvisha Kvaratskhelia, as he continues to bed in following his January move from Napoli. Fairly dominant performance from PSG in terms of possession and chances. They only scored the one goal early in the second half. Fabian Ruiz following in to score after a header from William Pacho had come back off the crossbar. For once, they didn't absolutely blow their opponents out of the water, which has been happening quite a lot with PSG of late. But I think in the circumstances and given all the changes he made, Luis Enrique will be pretty satisfied.
So a slim win, but they got the job done. But last, but hardly not least, in La Liga, Guillem Balagúe has got the latest on all the drama from the Madrid sides, who both today earned draws and red cards in their respective matches.
What a strange evening this has been, because two big sides got two players sent off. Jude Bellingham for Real Madrid, Pablo Barrios for Atletico Madrid. In the case of Jude Bellingham, there's a bit of confusion, more on that later. In the case of Pablo Barrios, minute 7, and he deserved the sending off for a bad tackle. They both finished 1-1 after both conceding a penalty in the same circumstances. Defender stamping on the forward's feet. A little bit more controversial in the case of Real Madrid, but certainly deserved in the case of Atletico Madrid. In any case, that 1-1 result means that Barcelona have got the opportunity on Monday against Rayo at home to get to the same points as Real Madrid and leave Atletico Madrid behind by 1 point. Really, really exciting. What did Jude Bellingham say? Well, he said F off, which wasn't an insult. And the referee put in the report that he said F you, which is certainly an insult. So Real Madrid have started a campaign straight away after the game, allowing Bellingham to talk. Normally players don't talk after the game, Real Madrid players don't talk after the game, but he did, to say, it was just one thing I said to myself, almost. In any case, I'm not sure the federation is going to change their mind. He will be suspended for the next games, and what we've got is Real Madrid that have got only 2 points out of the last 9. Atletico Madrid 2 draws in a row, and Barcelona could take advantage of that. Something else, with 10 men, both Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, if they played every game of the season like that, they'll qualify for Europe. They're such good teams.
Oh, how good it's things in Spain right now. So let's see if Barcelona can capitalise on the top 2 stumbling when they take on Rayo Vallecano on Monday. That is Saturday across Europe's top 5 leagues. But make sure you join Scoreline for all the latest analysis and highlights from across Europe every single night.